thank you for joining me here tonight. We are going to be inspecting this quite large record collection here. So I will just be going through and providing my comments on all of my findings here. I have this handy dandy light with me so I can really see up close with everything, but let's move these records to the side and begin with it. So I'm gonna set them right over here for now, but our first record will be Bruno, Mars, Dooops, and Hooligans. So, this record is a little bit old, not ancient, but it's got a little bit of age to it. And looking at the cover, I do see two little creases here in it on the front side, but other than that, not seeing anything else. And then on the back, seems to be in flawless condition. So overall, this cover is in good shape. Let's pull the record out here. Okay, so I do see a little bit of dust accumulation on this thing, but that's okay. It's a quick fix. Side 2 seems to have no scratches on it at all, and side 1 also seems to have no scratches on it. Yes, I would say that this record is in pristine condition. So my overall rating for this will be great condition, as we do have those few creases on the cover. But overall, I would say this is in great condition. So we will set it over here for now. And I'm grabbing our next one here. We have Austin by Post Malone. So the cover here is just a picture of Post Malone sitting on a poolside. And that is the back of Austin. So this is a double disc album. And I do see a little stain here on the front cover. A little bit of wear here at the bottom left corner. But other than that, the front seems to be in good condition. Let's see the back here. I am seeing more wear here on the corners. So the corners have definitely seen a little bit of love, but I'm not seeing any scratches or any of that sort here on it. If we open it up, we have quite a large photo here of a truck, and I'm not seeing any flaws with this here, so that is a good sign. Let's take a peek at the records here now. So these records are this beautiful blue color. They look fantastic, but right off the bat, I am noticing a scratch. I do notice a scratch here on side B. But nothing else on that side. And nothing on side A. So we are going to note that scratch here on side B. And then the other disc here. I don't see any scratches on it. However, I am noticing there might just be a little dirt or something here in the upper right corner of side C. Flipping over to side D. I am seeing a scratch here on side D. Just a very small scratch, very minor. I would say it's about 1 centimeter in length, so not that large. But overall, between the disc and the cover, the case itself, I would give this record a good rating, as it is in a pretty good condition still. Just a little bit of wear on the corners and a couple minor scratches on the disc. Moving on to our next one here, we have Youre, which is by Tyler, the creator. This was an iconic album in the late 2010s, so very likely most people know what this album is. But looking at the cover here, immediately going to check the corners, as that was the problem with the last one, and these corners are in much better condition. I do see a little bit of wear here on the bottom left corner, but it's not that bad overall. I'm not seeing any scratches or anything on this front cover. I do see the original Youre logo here on the front cover. That's a good sign. It's a sign that it's authentic here. Then looking on the back, I do see a little bit of bending here on the opening side of the cover. But the corners seem to be in good condition. And there is a little divot here on the top of the back of the Youre record sleeve. But nothing major to note on this one. Let's pull out the disc here. Okay, so this disc does need to be cleaned, but that is okay. As I mentioned earlier, it's very easy to do that. But I see no scratches on this record, neither side A nor side B. Yes, this record is in pristine condition. And then just this inside portion here, I want to see if there are any defects with it. I see a little bit of bending here on the spine. A little bit of bending here on the spine. And maybe a slight scratch above the credits on the left side. But overall, I would say this record is in great condition. There are hardly many defects, and the disc itself is looking phenomenal. So, this is a good one to have. Next up here we have Wonderland, and this is a compilation record, so it is another dual disc, 4 sides, and it's many different artists. It's all Christmas themed music, holiday music. So let's take a peek at this. The corners are looking very good, no issues there. It does seem this front cover could use a wipe down. But overall the coloring is good, and I'm not seeing any creases or scratches of any nature, so that is a good sign. Looking on the back here, I do immediately see this crease right here above the text for side A, and this top right corner is also looking a little bent inwards. At the very bottom left, I do see a spot where the coloring has chipped away. But other than that, I'm not seeing any other issues with this record sleeve itself. So let's pull out these discs. Quite a tight fit in there. Let's see them. So starting with side B, I'm not seeing any scratches, though there does seem to be maybe a slight stain towards the northeast portion of the disc. And then looking on side A, I'm not seeing any issues with it, so other than that little stain, that disc is good. Disc 1. Let's take a look here at side C now. Very dusty one. But I'm not seeing any scratches on it. And side D, much cleaner here, though I could still use a wipe down. I'm also not seeing any scratches. All in all, I would give this one a great rating, as there's minimal damage to the cover itself, and also the 2 records are in great condition. So I will give this one a great rating. Moving on here to our next one, we have Untitled, Unmastered by Kendrick Lamar. The cover is just a solid olive green shade, and the back just has the track list. Now, I don't even need my light for this. I can see lots of flaws immediately. We have some crevices here up in the right corner. All 4 corners are bent inwards. The top is starting to fall apart. And I'm just seeing a lot of folds and bends in this cover all over. And the backside is not as bad, though I still do see 1, 2, 3 different creases along this cover, and towards the opening, it's definitely starting to see a little bit of wear, but the text itself seems to be in great condition. I'm not seeing any issues with the printing. So it's a tough start for this record, but hopefully the disc itself is in good condition. So, starting here on side B, I'm not seeing any issues. Flipping to side A, I'm also not seeing any issues. So, the record itself is in flawless condition, which is great considering this is a decade old. However, the cover for the record looks like it is a decade old, maybe even older. So for that reason, I'm going to have to give this record in average to below average grading. This record cover is just not in great condition at all, so that is the reason for that rating. And moving on to our next one, we have another post Malone record. And this one is Hollywood's Bleeding. This was his third full-length studio album. And what's cool about this one is the cover itself is actually raised, so you can feel the texture and it's 3D in a sense. But let's take a look at it. I do see a little color deteriorating, a little color deterioration here on this front. Maybe what looks to be a chip or two. But the four corners all have a little bit of wear on them. So especially this bottom left one here. There's a lot of damage here. And a little bit of damage here on the opening of it as well. Flipping to the back side. There seem to be some stains on the back and a few spots where the color has chipped away. It's just white. And the corners look to be the same as the front side. So let's open it up here. I am not seeing anything noteworthy. The spine does seem to be a little worn down, but nothing too major. But the picture still seems to be in good condition. Let's take a look at these discs here. Post Malone always does a fantastic job with his disc. I love this pink. Okay, let's take a look here. This is going to be side C. And I do see one area of concern on side C. Side D has quite a large scratch here. Now luckily most of it seems to not be on a track, but this scratch is approximately 3 inches long, so that is definitely a cause for concern. Let's just shine the light over this real quick. Okay, well, disc 2 certainly has some issues with it. Let's get it back in its sleeve here. Take a look at the other disc. Okay. So we'll start with side A here. And looks like there's a little discoloration on side A. Just one little spot. But I'm not seeing any scratches. And then side B, there's no discoloration and no scratches either. So this rating is a little trickier to give, as the two discs are not in the best conditions, and the cover itself is in an okay condition. So I think I'm going to have to give this one a slightly below average grading. I just think that it could be in a better condition overall. So let's move on to the next one. This is In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. And the back is just plain white with a little bit of text on it. And it's definitely not in good condition. Not at all. There are so many scratches on the front of this, and discoloration and wear. All the corners and edges are either bent in or folded or fraying, falling apart. Let's check the back here. I see a little crease here at the bottom towards Peter Gabriel's name. And the top is also showing signs of wear. But the back overall is in much better condition than the front. But this album is from the 80s, so it's understandable why it might not be in best condition any longer. Let's see how this disc looks. Okay, well, it is it's very clean. I'm surprised by how clean it is, to be honest. Not seeing any scratching on it, or staining of any sort, or discoloration. So I would say this disc is in pristine, flawless condition. However, this cover is just not in very good condition. But we are going to keep its age in mind. So I'm going to still give this a slightly above average grading, only because that record is still in pristine condition after all this time. So if you were to touch up this cover itself, you could definitely make it look better. So it's not too much of a concern in the grand scheme of things, considering the record is still in great condition. Next up, we have If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. And this is a Drake record, and neither the front nor the back have anything special on it. The back is just white with the track list. But let's take a look at this. So I do see, given this is a white record here, white cover, it is going to be more prone to staining, and I do see some stains on here. Approximately 4 separate stains. I do see a crease here at the top left, and one at the bottom left as well. Flipping over to the back side. I do see a stain at the top left, but I'm not seeing any creasing at all, so the back is definitely in a better condition. This is a double, so there are 2 discs in here. And the spine is a little bit bent up, and there's also a stain next to it. But I'm not seeing any creases or scratches, so that is good. Let's take a look at these records. Okay, so we will begin here with side A. And I'm not seeing any scratches or anything wrong on side A. Flipping over to B. No issues with that side either. The only thing of note for that disc is that it could use a little wipe down. Now looking at side C here, I do see a large scratch, what seems to be track 1. Probably about 2 inches in length. And there's a separate one right after, another 3 inches, so it's about 5 inches of scratching here. But I'm not seeing anything else. Let's check side D. Okay, I'm not seeing any other concern there. Okay. So, overall here, I am going to give this a poor rating, and that is because there are stains on here and some bends and folds in the cover itself, and as well as that about 5 inches of scratching there on one of the discs. So all of that put together is going to give it a poor rating. Next up we have Mr. Morale in The Big Stepper. This is by Kendrick Lamar. You can see it's a photo of him on the back and then his family on the front. So let's take a look at this. And I do see a little bit of wear here on the bottom left corner. There is a fold on the top left, but I'm not seeing any scratching on it. Checking the back, a little bit of wear at the top of the casing, but the rest is looking fine. Pull out the disc here. Okay, so side A, I'm not seeing any scratching on it. And side B seems to actually be in very good condition, almost looking new. So that's good. Check here. Side C seems to maybe have a little bit of water damage on it. That is not good. But I'm not seeing any scratches. Let's check side D here. I do see a scratch that is about 5 inches long here on track 1, here for side D. Okay, so okay, so overall I am going to give this a bad rating. Between the scratching on the disc and the what seems to be water damage, it's not in good condition. The cover itself has a few minor flaws, so overall I'm going to have to give it a bad rating. I'm sorry, Kendrick Lamar. And our final record in this collection here tonight is going to be Post Malone's F1 Trillion album. So this is his newest country album. A recent release, I believe it was just 2024 it came out. So let's take a look at this here. Okay, so this is a newer one, so I would hope it's in better condition than some of the others. The corners look good, and I'm not seeing any scratching here on the front. And the back, I do see a crease here on the top right side where the track list is. And I see a little bit of scratching here on the bottom right as well, but I don't see any discoloration or misprints of any sort. So, opening it up. The picture on the inside, I see a small little crease towards the left side, top middle. The spine is in pristine condition. That is all I have to note on this. The colors are still very vibrant, very bright. Let's see. Post Malone does it again with the cool disc. Alright, side A here. Looks to be in pristine condition. Side B, also in pristine condition. This disc looks very new still. And looking at the side C here, looks even better than the other two. Side D. Oh, I do see a little discoloration here on side D. We were so close. Okay. Okay, well, we almost had a flawless rating, but I'm going to give this one a great, slightly above great rating. It is just the cover itself is in great condition still, minus a few minor issues with it. And then, other than that small discoloration on the side D disc, there is no other issues with it, so I will give it a great, slightly above great rating. Good job, Posty. But that is it for our record collection here tonight. We have inspected everything that we need to inspect, so I hope that you enjoyed your time here tonight. Hope you found this relaxing, tingly, restful, all of the above. But I hope you have a great night, great sleep, great dreams, and I hope to see you again soon. I have knowledge in many categories. There's a lot more to